Hi everyone, how are you?
Good.
Okay. No, really, how are you? Good. Okay, that's good. I take it that everyone here is doing good, and that's great for sure. But let's admit, not everything is this good, right? I can be the honest one. Not everything has been this good. Not always. I have been down. Not like I have a bad day down. I was depressed for half a year, and sometime after, I got the diagnosis of bipolar disorder. Standing here telling all of you that I've struggled with depression is not the most comfortable I've been. But why does it have to be so unpleasant? Why do we feel this discomfort when we talk about mental health and mental disorders? I think it's because we know too little about it. I can't recall any of my teachers talking about mental health. We don't speak too much about it, and that makes us uncomfortable when someone mentions it. As a wise friend of mine said, let's not call it mental illness, but rather mental challenges. Because that's what it is. It's a challenge. It's so easy to accept our physical pain. It's so easy to tell our friends and colleagues how sick we feel. And you'll probably mention one of your colleagues says something about, if I stay at work for another minute, I think I'm going to die. But there are physical illnesses that are really uncomfortable to talk about. I would probably not tell everyone at work that I struggle with hemorrhoids. But at least it's a real illness. Your mental disorder can't be seen. If I get symptoms of urinary tract infection, I immediately go seek a doctor. But when my depression was at its worst, I didn't go to any doctor. Throughout this period, I thought that if I didn't say anything out loud, it would be all in my head. After all, I wasn't sick, right? This is me celebrating that I finished my bachelor degree. 3 years I worked so hard for this degree. Every one of you can see that I'm not really happy here, can you? At least that's what I felt, and I thought that everyone could see this like it was written all over my face. What I didn't realize at that time was that I was as sick as I've ever been. Last year, when I wrote my bachelor thesis, was when my depression was at its worst. I fought against myself every single day, and every day felt like an everlasting swim. For every arm I put in front of the other, I felt like drowning, and reaching the shore felt impossible. At this time, a friend of mine used to meet up at the library. You know, to meet at a certain time, so you have to get up in the morning. She is a really good friend of mine, and I knew she had her own fights and her everyday struggles, like we all do. So one of these sad, cold April days, we sat at the library, just as any other day. I tried to push away some thoughts, but you know, when your throat is tightening up, and you have to look up at the ceiling so you don't start to cry? Your breath becomes heavier, and it's getting harder to swallow. So I looked at her with tears in my eyes. I have to go. I'll just see you tomorrow. So the day after, I showed up at the library with stitches and bandages on my forearms from the night before where I cut myself. "What is that?" she asked. "Oh, nothing, it's just eczema," I said. So after a day at the university, I was on my way to my bus stop. And on my way there, I texted one of my best friends and asked if I could call her when I got home. "Of course," she replied. But a little back and forth, I said that I'll just talk to you another day. It will take some time before I get home. "Just call me when you get home, okay?" she said. So when I got home, I sat down at the bathroom floor, crying, because that's what I did almost every day after yet another fight with myself. Why did I feel this way? Why did I feel this sadness, and where did it come from? I hadn't any reason to feel this way. I had everything I needed and wanted in life. I didn't call my friend, but she called me. The first time, I didn't answer it. How could I? I was so scared that she would hear the sadness in my voice. So I just sat there, looking at her name, lighting up the cell phone screen. She wasn't giving up on me. So after a while, I got enough courage to answer a call. "How are you?" she asked. "I'm fine," I said with a choking voice. "I can hear you're not fine. What is going on?" And in that moment, I broke down. I don't want to live anymore, and I don't understand. I sobbed and I sobbed until I had no more air left in my lungs. The emotional wall I spent my life building just fell to pieces. 3 little words. "How are you?" After opening up to my friend over the phone, I realized that I needed an appointment with my doctor. And the night before my appointment, I had a beer with a friend. "Why are you going to the doctor?" she asked. A simple, innocent question. But at that time, I wasn't being open to everyone about my depression. But I gave it a little thought and decided to tell her, because after all, I felt a little bit lighter after opening up to my friend over the phone. So I told her how every day felt like a battle and something didn't feel right. She looked at me and said, "I was 16 years old when I tried to take my own life. And it's you and 2 other friends that knows. Openness leads to openness. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I keep counting like this until I get to 40, there will be another suicide somewhere in the world, and another one after yet another 40 seconds. Almost 800,000 people die by suicide every year, and suicide is the second leading cause of death in individuals aged 15 to 29. Not everyone has scars or wounds on the outside, like I do. But I think all of us have smaller or bigger wounds on the inside. And I think the only way these can be healed is by talking about them. Yes, time heals old wounds, but a wound needs air to heal properly. All I needed was a little push from a friend who asked how I was doing. This enabled me to open up. Even if my friend from university had asked about my scars and wounds, the time and place was probably not right. The time after I decided to be open about my depression and my mental disorder, I've been met with so much love and so much openness. People that usually don't talk about these things opened their hearts to me and told me about their struggles and deepest thoughts. Struggles that only made them stronger for every battle they won. So I want to ask you one more time, how are you? And when someone asks you on a shitty day, be honest. Maybe you don't get the reaction you expected, but that is understandable. Because we have a long way to go when it comes to being open about our struggles in life. So I want all of you to be the friend, the girlfriend, the boyfriend, the family member, or even the colleague who dares to ask, how are you? And then ask one more time. Thank you.